and welcome to CrestVahllen D&D. Welcome back, CrestVahllen D&D. I'm your not so humble dungeon master, TJ, and we are here with first, Sean.
Hello, my name is Sean. I play a character named Tamron Grounder, and a rose by any other name would maybe be called a tulip.
I like that. Went from Gertrude Stein to your own thing. Great. Up next is Angela.
Oh no. Okay.
I'm just doing it in the order that we have it on the OBS here.
Well, that's great. That's good. So I play Nakano. She picked up a new skill. Hunting. It's because, real women hunt for their food.
That's valid. Yes. Very valid.
Kind of go with like that typical stereotype of men. We men hunt.
Oh, I mean, like, come on.
Food from ground.
Want to eat food from ground? Hunter, you gatherer. No. I mean, let's talk about, real quick about how there's so many ancient cultures that have the women that are in charge. Like, I mean, we've got some ancient Greece culture. We've got some Spartan cultures. We got some. We can go into mythological of the whole island of Lesbos and the Amazonians. I mean, they're. Even Viking culture. Fuck. Speaking of which, up next. No, I'm sorry. Up next is Cameron.
I play Scoop Crinkle, player for the Tempest. Bread.
That was a cop out.
Oof.
Big oof.
Give him the fart. Hit him with a fart.
I don't have the fart sound effect anymore. I don't know. I could just smell. There you go. There's the fart sound. Okay. Noelle.
I'm Noelle. Today I'm playing Mishani Ankmut, the Kenran Ranger, and you get a mask, and you get a mask, and you get a mask.
Everybody gets a mask.
Everybody gets a mask.
Fantastic. Great. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. This is the Baker's Dozen. Welcome back. We are happy to have you here. Before we get into it, you guys want to do a little recap? Yeah. Heck yeah. Before we play some D&D, we'll do a little recap. Cool. I'll just pause some of the music here, and we'll throw on some of our intro music here, and then I'll have a recap ready for you. A lot happened, so it's going to be a long one. Okay. So, can you hear the music? Great. After the Baker's Dozen introduces themselves to Carver, they learn of how the corruption of the deep has become even more widespread than they initially thought. Carver is tasked with tracking its sources down and shares the location of several places of runic power under the seas, recognizing the Eldritch Idol's design, aesthetic, and style as similar to said locales, possibly a designed destination for the fetishes. He also shares that the Leviathans have some part to play in the odd ecology of the depths, leading to the realization that the Purple previously encountered was that of the Deep Kraken. As Carver departs the scrambling pearl within him, the party witnesses a chaotic rift rupture in the fabric of space over the teleportation circle in the hold of the Sutamabura. Within the fabric of space over the teleportation circle, within the well wall continuum is a stage for a standoff between the missing passengers / crew and numerous faceless. Misheni utilizes her tether with the planes to hold the rift open with the aid of Nakano's web. The rest of the gang rush to the crew's aid, quickly escorting and shepherding them back through the rift as a grueler arrives. Sacrifices are made, but the group is able to get everyone back aboard safely as the rift snaps shut. The Seeker and the party exchange tales of information as a plan is set to establish a staging area in Saivesh to prepare, gather support, and more before they take their case to the courts in Namung. Reizen Toman draws up papers of asylum for the survivors of cultural injustice to be ratified by the Zushi at a later date. Toman shares some information on the hierarchy of the Northern Dynasty before the Palmbringer and the galleon head back to port, greeted by a frightened blockade of ships. Eventually, they are allowed to dock, and Baikem vouches for their safety and integrity, soon after supported by the Zushi himself, being updated on the current happenings. The Seeker and the Salty Mystic have a moment while Hannah helps supply the survivors with necessities, and they are escorted to the Baker's Dozen's newly acquired manor. Say that 10 times fast. Arrangements are made to accommodate the new wealth of guests, but a major domo is requested by Tomin, as the documents for amnesty are ratified by the Zushi. With a break from the hustle and bustle of adventuring, the gang settle in for 4 weeks of downtime, giving them time to accomplish some other tasks. Misheni goes hunting with Nakano and is taught how to efficiently climb surfaces, while Nakano brings home the trophy of a gorgeous blue stag. Research is begun on the Ecological Awareness Fund, but no leads have been found as of yet. Tamron gets the gang together to perform/cook at Violence in Vindaloo, run by Voon, as they are quickly thrown into combat against a fleshy math of toothy maws for an appetizer, and then an obstreperous troll for the main course. Before the group can rest, they are shoved into a final battle with dessert, a gelatinous ooze with mild food coloring added. After defeating Dessert, the party is awarded with a hefty tip and praise before Tamron gathers a wealth of information and research, sending it to Pendleton Boville back at the College of the Unearthed, leaving out any state secrets. Messages are sent out, and Masheni learns that her father is being kept prisoner and tortured by religious zealots of Babas, him laughing through the tears of pain when learning that both his daughters are still alive and well. Money is spent on repairing the manor, and a scoop trades the Zushi for his Aureate Lotus. 3 more masks are commissioned. Pardon me. 3 more masks are commissioned in replicate design to aid with the resistance of the Sakura Blossom pollen, while Masheni and a Scoop work together to have a full conversations with plant life. A Scoop speaks with the deceased skull of Autumn Breeze on a chilly night, learning about connections with the Vodomo, the Earth Primordial, the Formian, and Pita. Welcome back to CrestVahllen. Yeah. Get it. What up? Uh-huh. Yeah. What? All right, I lost my mouse. And there we go. And we're back with the music. Great. So, yes. So where we left off was a Scoop casted Speak with Dead on the skull of the late skull of Autumn Breeze on a chilly night, and found out a couple of informations, of the questions, of the 5 questions that were asked. Some information about the Vodomo, the Primordial, the Earth, Pita, and the Formian were revealed a little bit more. Like the Formian is the champion of Pita, or the or something. Something along those lines. And, when this is finished, as we re-enter this scene, you see the jaw of the half bony jaw of the burned skull goes slack and begins to crumble as a bunch of the teeth fall out, and the skull falls to dust in a Scoop's hand.
That was useful information.
Yeah, I'm glad you decided to have a conversation. I think we learned more just now than we have in the last 3 weeks on stuff.
I know, right?
I mean, I have more questions, but
now it is.
Yeah.
Weren't there, right? Just you two.
No, I think everybody is here.
Yes.
I believe a Scoop, if I'm not mistaken, and if it wasn't stated, I believe it was meant to be stated that a Scoop would have gathered the rest of the party, being like, "Hey, look, I'm about to do this spell. We should probably pay attention." Because I believe he fielded you guys for questions of what he should ask.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah.
So we're all there. And for those keeping track at home, what date? I know time's a little timey-wimey right now, but what do you think it would be?
40.
I feel like we're just going
yeah.
back and forth.
So the
technically.
date at the moment is a little ambiguous. You will be
Yeah.
ending on the 20th of Hylock once the downtime is ended. However, you still have a little bit of more downtime left if there's some other downtime activities or like skills you would like to learn or things you would like to do. So what it is that when we do close downtime, we will end at the 20th of Hylock. So I don't want to get too messed up in the weeds with it, but yeah.
No, I just,
I would say you probably, that's like, let's say you've used your 3 weeks of all the stuff that you guys explained that you were going to do, and you probably have like another week left just to make it easy.
Why don't we just like hang out or something?
Y'all can hang out if you
Or-
want.
you mean like vacation?
Yeah.
I mean,
We actually have to hire people for our estate, don't we?
Well,
Actually.
I think Toman took care of that. Or at least he was able
Toman
to take
requested
care of
that
everything.
you hire a major domo. He's done a lot of the work, far beyond his actual job description.
But he set everything up so that it should run well after we get that major domo.
Yeah,
So we
like
paid-
as
he-
far
he
as
paid for that, and so-
Right. I'm sorry. As far as like logistics are concerned, as like there's enough bedrooms now, there's enough food that have stocked the place. It's been repaired enough. You guys spent quite a bit of money on that. I believe we already talked about the expenses that had happened there. But you will like
Yeah.
he's not a permanent fixture here. He was meant to facilitate to a certain point and then like ride on, not necessarily ride on your coattails, but like the whole rising tide raises all ships kind of deal of if you succeed, it reflects good upon him, so he helps to succeed as well. So he's like grooming you for nobility, and he can be like, you see, I taught them everything they know, and then he gets higher up in the hierarchy of nobility or whatever, however it works. So, but he's not a permanent fixture. So there's actually no person that's in charge of the estate when you are away, which is why he recommends that you hire a major domo.
Cool. Okay.
I mean, I still have sending if you guys want to do that. Of course. Message the Argent Flame if you want. Or I believe Nakano. I mean, you haven't spoken about to anyone. I think the week we met, you said something about Honoria. Do you want to message her possibly? Or you ran to a fish screaming Honoria?
I mean, we could, if that's something you wouldn't mind.
You got to give me a
Yeah.
description. You know the case description. What they look like. Possible.
Do you want to borrow my pen and paper?
We gotta
so you
try
can
about
draw her?
6 times.
I could try. I'm not. But let me do my
Sure, go ahead and write. I'll say.
With guidance.
roll to see how bad it comes out.
Yeah, I'll say for this you can write a sleight of hand check to see how well you can sketch Honoria.
Can I give enhanced ability along with guidance?
Yeah, you have enough spell slots for today?
Wow.
I only used one, right? I
For a
mean, I feel like this. I feel like it's just a gathering of just like, hey,
Yeah,
every
if
day
you
I'll
want to
be
do this over a
sending,
course
blah,
of a couple
blah.
days, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, like just be aware that you can't be using like 6 third-level spell slots a day.
I know, I
Yeah,
understand that.
Yeah.
I feel like we would have already gone over this, honestly.
Yeah,
before,
it's fine. Yeah.
Just periodically throughout the
Yeah, go ahead and roll your sleight of hand check. If you want to use a enhanced ability, you can. You can give her, I believe, what is a cat's grace. So it's dexterity, something like that. So you get
Yeah.
advantage on this, and you're guidancing her because enhanced ability
Yeah.
isn't concentration. Is enhanced ability
No,
concentration?
it is.
It is?
Oh.
So you gotta pick one,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it is. Okay. Just enhanced ability. Advantage. It's better.
Okay.
Sleight of hand check at advantage.
Can you believe I rolled the same thing on both die?
I can.
Whoa.
1 in 400 chance.
I rolled 12 plus 3 sleight of hand, so 15.
15. Okay, so it's it's like an amateur cross hatch. Like there's not much shading. It's just like you got the anatomical structure right. But what she is, you got like the bone facial structure. When it comes to like you draw one eye and then you draw the other eye, it's just like blank. wham. You know, like when you draw one eye, and it's like, oh, I love this eye, and you go to draw the other eye, it just looks like a modern art masterpiece. It's kind of like that.
A Scoop can just imagine that the other eye looks the same.
Exactly. So it's just it's not really it doesn't really affect
the eye or is it the right eye?
So it doesn't really affect the mechanics of being able to recognize the individual. But what you see before you guys is this rather striking. I'm going to say in teens, but it's an elven individual, but in their teens. But so it'll be a relative of being teen, so probably sometime within their first century, because elves live for a very, very, very long time. But they do mature at a certain age. So I would say like anywhere between their 20s and like 50s is probably how old this elf may be. A female elf. Quite striking, quite beautiful, very, very plain, kind of like a little bit of a pale complexion. Their eyes are a little larger than what you would expect from an elf. And the most striking thing about the drawing is that she draws it and everything, and then she shows it to you, and she's like, "Oh wait, yeah, I totally forgot." And then she draws these beautiful, gorgeous feathered wings that come out of the back of this elven individual. This is a winged elf, from what you can tell. The clothing that they are draped in is not very high quality. We're talking like, pauper's clothes, but she is beautiful, striking. She has a look of concern and compassion upon her face, except it's only like half her face because the other half is like, like kind of drooping. It looks pretty good. But you've never seen an elven individual with, like, for lack of a better term, feathered angel wings.
I've also never seen a tiefling with spider legs before.
True,
Right.
that's true.
I've also never seen a tiefling before.
Well, I would wager a guess that you probably have growing up where you did. Yeah, they're pretty widespread. They're not that rare.
Okay.
That giant kobold now.
But that giant kobold.
Okay. Nice drawing.
Oh, thank you.
What would you like to send to her?
What do I want to send? I want to see if she's okay. If she's alive.
You got 25 words.
This is Nakano. Now just mention me.
This is Nakano with the male voice.
Well,
Hey, yo, this is Nakano.
And- I'd like to know exactly, how she is and where she is.
She she kind of like a sister almost. Like obviously you're not sisters, but you know, like
but we were close.
yeah.
Yeah, we were really close
Okay.
before we separated.
Sisters from another mister.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. I cast sending. Hi, I'm Nakano. I'm Nakano's friend. She's asking how you're doing. I kind of wave to like Nakano. What else? Anything else?
Where are you? She wanted
Where
to know
are
that.
you?
Where are you located? I got
Are you alone?
13.
Are you alone? Just curious.
She's wondering if you are alone.
You can always say like you can reply with a short
Reply.
message or something.
How many letters? How
With
many words?
25 words or less.
Or
Okay, that's all 25.
Okay. I can hear the little Little doggos.
I have a question. Is one number one word?
It's a hyphenated one word. I suppose it would be.
So we can come up with a code
Oh.
where you can put
Okay.
entire
Well,
books into one number.
He said, "Oh, that makes sense." But like he
Right?
said, he said he'll just like
I broke the game.
do pronunciations or something like that.
yeah, like eventually, like the thing is that the spell has limitations. Like once you get to, like if you say anti-disestablishmentarianism, that's a stretch. You know, like that's a stretch.
It is one
Technically, it is one word, but the mechanics of the spell were made by the creators of D&D 5e to do their best to become balanced. Technically, if you want to cheese it, you can, but there will be a point where if you're trying. I'm not going to punish you for creativity, though. If you want to create your own code, and you could probably get a lot more of information in it than you normally could with just 25 words, but there's going to be eventually a point where it's going to stop because it's only a third level spell. Great. Okay, so you send that message off. I need someone to roll, because I don't have my dice tray here, because I'm a doo-doo head. I need somebody to roll a d20 for me, please.
Okay. I got a 6.
6. Okay. You feel the spell go through, and the message, like, be sent out into the ether, possibly received by a recipient. There is a long pause. Before you hear, "Who is this? How do you know that name? Is this some cruel joke? How dare you speak ill of the dead?"
Is that it?
That's it.
I think she thinks you're dead.
Yeah. I did. I thought. I mean, I can understand that actually.
Do you have like a secret code? Like I can do at least 2 more sendings.
How do I prove that I'm alive? Like where it doesn't sound like.
I don't know. Give like a time a time you had with each other that you probably, I don't know, like
Right, like nobody else could ever know about that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Remember the time where I made you that bracelet? It had 2 stones on it. One green stone and one blue stone. For my favorite color and her favorite color.
Well, there you go. What the
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. You could almost, if she thinks you're dead, you could almost, and I know you're limited by how many words you have, but like,
I know.
how did you survive? You know, like,
I survived the fall.
There's also one individual that both of you know from your childhood that kind of left at a certain time. If that helps.
Yeah.
Roll an intelligence check to see if you remember. It's been a while.
she still has that.
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
Hell yeah.
You're like, of course. How could I possibly forget the name of my caregiver for so long? Krekik. The winged individual of which is why I wasn't surprised when we saw Phoenix the first time, because I've seen someone who was like that before. I've seen an Aarakocra before. They took care of me for years.
That's right.
What's right?
Krekik, right?
Who's that?
We both I'm trying to think of least words as possible.
I mean,
You know. So did Krekik? I know we were in the air at one point, right?
Well, Krekik
Yeah.
left. A lot of the individuals. Yes, Krekik left when things started to, like, when everybody started to grow up and started to, like, be more sustaining, as it were. There was that thing where you, like, jumped off and you used your limbs to save yourself, and the Krekik was like, good job. But Krekik was pretty much the caregiver of all those that were there without giving up away
So-
too much.
Would Krekik know that I was alive now, right? I mean,
Krekik left before you left.
oh, okay. So no. I would just bring up that we both know Krekik very well. You know, maybe just hearing the name.
Yeah, you could mention both
Nobody
if
else-
you want, like the
Nobody
bracelet
else
and
would-
Krekik.
And the
Yeah.
bracelet. Yeah. I feel like this is Ghost happening, the movie. Like, talking.
okay.
What's the song that plays when Patrick Swayze sits behind Whoopi Goldberg, or not? What's her name?
Right.
Righteous, righteous something.
Oh my love, my darling.
The Righteous Brothers. I forgot.
Yeah.
You know which one, right?
Oh yeah, I know which one.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So Nakano sits behind a scoop, puts all four of her spidery limbs onto a scoop and rocks him back and forth as she whispers the message into his ear.
I'm the weird one here, okay? Okay. I'll cast Sending.
Okay.
She just told me the name Kraken?
Krekik. It's Creckik.
She said you had a bracelet with both your favorite colors, blue and green.
That's good.
She's alive.
There's a pause, and then a gasp, and then a sob. Where is she? How do you know her? Is she safe? I'm in New Spheris. I'm fine.
I hear this.
Scoop hears this. I'm in New Spheris. I'm fine. It's different here. Praise Akadi, you're alive.
She was emotional for a little bit. Then she says she's fine. She's in New Cadiz.
New Spheris.
Paris. Oh, it's in like the middle of the big old map with an upside down windmill.
Upside down.
Like
my-
on the main continent.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Am I familiar with that place?
Cameron pulls out his map and he points to that area. And you look a little farther north of that area, and
Yeah.
lo and behold, that's a Nuth is in the mountains just south of the Beryl Sea. And that's where you are familiar with, where you spent most of your childhood, in a Nuth.
Okay.
Granted, the name New Spheris doesn't really register anything with any of you guys. It's on the map. You're just don't know why. But you do actually. Everybody can roll a history check for me.
Can I roll a check to figure out why that thing is upside down?
We'll see.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nakana. What'd you get?
I got a 23.
23.
Might as
Misheni.
well use bend luck, right? I mean, why the hell not?
Misheni, what'd you get?
3. I don't know. I've never heard of it.
It's all right, machine.
A scoop?
I got a 16.
16? Okay.
Gonna use bend luck. Yeah. 18.
18. Okay. Machete, no clue. A scoop, you have heard of the area called Akkadi's Breath and how it's like most people just don't go there, but you don't know much about it other than there may have something to do with the wind, but that's about it. Remember, you're not really from this continent too much, so you know very little about like the goings on, especially farther inland. You being a studier of history and archaeology and all that jazz, Tamron, are familiar with Akkadi's Breath being these are the windswept plains that are constantly year-round, non-stop torrential winds, like all the time, which is why nobody really settles there because it's damn near impossible to like really set up there. So you, unfortunately, this is the first time. This is a very, very old map. This is the first time you've ever seen a representation of a possible settlement or city or town or anything like that, a respite of civilization within the bounds of Akkadi's Breath, referenced as New Spheris. But granted, you didn't really have any reason to consider it or it to come up for any other reason, except now it's become a point of focus. So you're like, wait, what the hell? What is New Spheris? I don't know of any city that's there. I've never heard of any city being there or any town or anything like that. Nakano, you're very familiar with Akkadi's Breath. You were there. It happened to you. You experienced what these winds feel like. It's chaos. It's air chaos incarnate, and it is. The winds are so loud you can't even hear your own self screaming at the top of your lungs. The sound of your own screams don't make it to your ear, and you've experienced firsthand what it is like to do here. However, because you rolled so high, you do remember. The last time you saw Krekik was when he was flying off from Anuth towards some mass of something in the sky as the clouds parted. Above the clouds, as you could see, some mass. You're not exactly sure what it was, floating in the sky. And you caught it for just a couple seconds before it got hidden behind the clouds again.
Wow. Weird.
So you've maybe seen like some kind of floating civilization or something?
Could be.
That would make sense. That would story would corroborate with why there's upside down windmills on here.
Oh shit.
Maybe they got like windmills that like hang down from their city to like power.
Maybe it's another world up there.
Right.
I mean, I could have just seen that, just out of my imagination.
Maybe.
I think we've all
Could be
seen
something we could possibly like explore.
Yeah. That's far away. That's
It is far.
That's
You know.
crazy far away. How did you get this far east?
I just traveled on. I just snuck on some ship.
Well, you traveled on foot for years and years because you escaped when you were young.
When I escaped.
Yeah, and then you traveled, and then you were captured.
Yeah.
And then put into slavery via the Red Lion Syndicate. So that happened. Yeah.
It was a while.
Yeah, you were
Did
captured
take
in the plains of Hest. Yeah, but you traveled for years.
Wow.
So, yeah, it has been many years. I guess it's hard to take the track time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's impressive.
That's why your background is far traveler. Mm-hmm. Connections.
That makes a lot of sense.
So the questions that she asked Scoop were: how is she? Where is she? Is she okay? I'm in New Spheres. Things are different here. Like, Akadi be praised that she's safe. Like, she had no idea that she was alive.
Okay. I use the Lotus to get my third level spell.
Cool. Cool. So as you pull out this aureate lotus and this gold gilding, it's this beautiful like jeweler's lotus, and but it acts and reacts to your touch like a lotus made out of actual flower petals and flora material would, which is odd because it's made out of like precious metals and gems and stuff. And as it opens, and you concentrate on it, this small bead of like power that's similar to like pollen, which kind of gives you a little bit like ooh for a moment, but it just kind of like bing, this little gleam of bead of light and this like pink light just kind of comes up and then deposit itself in the middle of your forehead, and you just feel like a small mode of power kind of wash over you before the lotus closes up.
Okay. That thing's cool. It makes me feel good.
It's better than Arcane.
I think a little safer than Arcane, maybe.
Yeah. You don't weld your friend's eyeballs shut.
I shouldn't be laughing at that.
So it was just, how is she? Where is she?
Yeah, how is she? Where is she? I'm in New Spheres. Things are different here. Akari be praised that she's like, alive.
Do you want to
It's
tell
like
her?
it's being like they want to know everything.
Yeah. Do you want to tell her where you're at, or?
Yeah. Tell her everything she wants to know. And tell her I'm okay too. I met a lot of friends.
Okay. Ascending again. Where are we at, actually?
You are in Saivesh in the Northern Dynasty.
Oh, Saivesh. I keep thinking Zonkor for some reason.
That's in the Southern Dynasty. Yeah.
Yes. Location Saivesh. Doing very well. I made plenty of friends. I'm now a noble.
Yeah.
I got big house. Come visit sometime.
Yeah, give the address.
Keep the address.
Sir.
Thank you.
You give her the name of your group.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Maybe we're famous now. Maybe they've heard of us out there.
Don't say thank you.
You got two more
just
words,
say-
so you could just say Baker's Dozen.
Yeah, just don't say thank you. Just say Baker's.
Baker's dozen. Yes.
Nakano sees you about to say thank you, and she just puts her hand over your mouth, and you're like, no.
Baker's dozen.
But you hear a response like immediately. She's like, well, no offense, but I don't know you. I'm glad you're doing well, but how's she doing?
Oh my fucking
Who
god.
are you?
Nope, she's not going to get any more messages for the
You didn't
today.
say that we were the baker's dozen?
Yeah,
He said
figures.
I the whole time.
Oh.
He's like, "Who are you?" Was like her big question.
I know, but it's like we're speaking for her.
You said
Like,
that
she gets the
there has to be a
idea.
little- There has to be a little common
You also
sense.
said that we're friends, right? You said that
Yeah.
she's among friends.
She gets the idea. She's just like, but she's also like, great, but who are you? And why are you with her?
Why does she care?
In the first message, didn't you say that you're a scoop?
No.
No.
No, I'm a friend of Nakano. He said.
Okay.
Now she's like, okay, great. Nikano's great. Wait, who the fuck are you?
She
She'll
got
find
the
out
point.
tomorrow in the next episode of.
She
Sending.
gets the point.
Yeah, she got all the information.
Yeah.
The last thing she says, because you had a couple words left, is, "You're very far away. I wish I could see you."
Who, me? You don't know me.
And then you hear her like, "Oh, damn it," as it cuts off.
Well, maybe one day we'll be able to teleport there.
Yeah.
So,
Oh. Nobody else.
It'd be a pretty rad place to visit if it really is a floating city. That would be an interesting question to ask her. What is the place you are at?
we still got tomorrow. It's not like a big deal.
Yeah, now that you know that you connected with her and she's at least talking to you, maybe she'll tell you. Also, I'm assuming Akadi is supposed to be some sort of god or something, right? Is that...
It seems like it. She did say bless the card. So,
Everybody can roll a history check for me if they'd like. Noelle, why are you making that face?
Because I feel like since Machine didn't know anything about that.
yeah, she asked the question like,
Yeah, but the Akadi's breath is still like,
What is that
wildly
again?
now.
Oh yeah, I remember now.
Wait, guys, what is this? Oh,
She just zoned out and looked at a butterfly for a little bit. Oh, please.
nope, same number.
Oh,
So
no.
it's okay.
You're still
Perfect.
looking at that butterfly like, I wonder if I can talk to this thing.
I think you. No, it's plants, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. No, you
Oh.
can hear what they're
Yeah,
saying.
you can flavor however you want to do that too. However you want to
Yeah.
talk to the plants.
I understand them.
You understand
You can
them.
talk to them.
So a Scoop can talk to them, and she understands them. So you can do like a little thing of telephone and work together too, buddy.
How cute it is, like,
D&D and dogs. That's the name of the stream now. D&D and
Dean
dogs.
dogs.
Yeah.
Triple D.
Dungeons and Doggos.
He's keeping me nice and warm with me.
Mhm.
Aw, buddy.
So since you talk to plants now, do you like hear screams all over the place or something?
Every time you walk on grass. Ah! 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 What is happening?
That's horrific. That's so horrifying.
Like, yeah.
I mean, that's why I haven't been sleeping as well. You know, I
Yeah.
don't know if
It's
you
like- it's
noticed,
not
but
like-
it's
Well, grass is particular hardy, right? So it probably doesn't hurt them as much. It's more like, ow, ow, bitch, ow, ow, rude.
That's all you hear throughout the forest. Ow!
Ow. Rude.
especially in a
Their perceptions for now are just at disadvantage or something.
yeah, especially when the weeding is happening in our greenhouse. You know, it's not good. It's not good.
I have to give you the whole thing. You have to be able to shut it off, right? Otherwise, you will absolutely go
Well,
insane.
I mean, I feel like the way that I kind of imagine it is like I can kind of interpret how they're looking. It's not that I actually hear plants because that would be crazy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, yeah, cool. Like you can interpret it. Yeah, work on like how some cool flavoring as to how you do it. That'd be super super cool. Great. So, what did all your history checks get?
12.
15.
11.
11. So, a scoop. It's beyond you. You don't know really. All you know is that it's on the map. It's called Akadi's Breath. You don't really know too much about it. Nakano, there's just a spark of memory as to Krekik mentioning Akadi at some point, but you're unsure as that they were just talking about the geographical feature of Akadi's Breath or something else. But you get the sense that there possibly could be more to it. Tamron, your studies in history and archaeology, like of being like, oh, wait, there was something about Akadi being one of the old world deities or one of the old world worshippers, possibly like, one of like more like the elemental ones, possibly something like that, which makes sense.
Like a wind elemental.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or air elemental.
Like air, something like that. And then it occurs to you like, wait, okay, so if Pita is earth and Atira is the water. Or is Pita water or is Pita's earth?
Pita's earth.
Pita's earth. Pita's earth, which is the mother. And the water, which is Atira, is the father. If
we know Kosuth because of
water and earth. You got two out of like the four elements.
We know Kosuth.
Kosuth is fire, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. So maybe Akadi is air. But
I love the pensive. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just making a bad
Just
joke.
writing things down.
I know. I just like the pensive looks. I'm like, yes, yes. I love the.
What was the name of the water
element?
elemental again?
Atira.
That was something that you guys figured out when you were looking through books and realizing that the name. Oh shit! Like the name of the planet, Von Tyria. Like Atira is literally in the name, more or less.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
You want to do anything else with this downtime?
Well, we should hire a major domo, right?
Yeah, probably should do that.
Put out a
And-
classified ad or something.
That would be Jin Fushi.
Well, but if she's becoming maybe, intertwined with the Zushi, maybe that wouldn't be a viable option for a very long time.
Should we check up on that? Probably, right?
Yeah, maybe we have them all over for dinner, see how things are
Yeah.
going.
That's a nice idea.
Well, I'm sorry. Pita is the father. Pita is the father earth, and Atira is the mother water. My mistake. Apologies.
Okay.
Just checking my notes here. Some of these things can get a little confusing.
So maybe we have them over, we check in on them, we hire a major domo, put out the ad, just, somebody walking around town with like the billboard on them or crying out.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Nothing.
Oh, the other thing too, with what Autumn said, we know that the Formian, I don't know if we want to do a little bit more research into that. I mean, if they're the champion of Pita, the Earth, and we know that the Sakura Blossoms, based off of what we talked to Carter about, is kind of tied to that, or like the same kind of like elemental-ish runic energy. Maybe we'd look into that. I don't know.
So what do we do with this information about Varad?
Maybe that's another good reason to have the Zushi over for dinner. Under the guise of just finding out how they're doing, nice and light. But, also find out more, or let them know at least. Or do we want to, or are you suggesting maybe doing a little more investigation before we talk to them?
I feel like we have the answer. I don't know if investigation is necessary, but it's also like, do we need more evidence before we can bring it to higher people?
Yeah, because, all we have is the word of a
just
dead
the word
man.
of mouth. Yeah. Literally the word of a dead man.
It comes to mind, the Vodomo is an extremely powerful individual. The Vodomo is literally in charge of the day-to-day policy of the entire dynasty, of the Northern Dynasty. They are part of the council of the Daifon, the Hakushai, the Vodomo, and the Koenig Magus are part of a 4-person council that is second only to the Dynasta themselves.
So be like accusing the senator, the house of the head senator,
like the vice president or the secretary of state or the chief of staff to the president of something.
That they're being treasonous.
Yeah, a really good example would be a chief of staff. Chief of staff to the president.
Okay.
For an entire nation. Because they're in charge of the day-to-day policy, taxes, finances, that whole thing.
Well, Congress is, but
no, I don't mean in this. I mean the Vodomo is. I don't mean in the U.S. culture, but yes. You also know, because it is somewhat common knowledge, and one of you would know this, especially probably Tamron would know this, that the Vodomo is a female core who has worked their way up in the hierarchy of the establishment.
It's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm. Maybe she's been playing the long game after all. It's it's meaning that she's wanting to bring about this change with the power of the plants taking over. But you guys also thought him. It didn't seem like he was lying. Why? Right?
No.
So you guys have, still quite a bit more of downtime. Well, a decent amount of downtime. Is there anything else you'd like to do with your time? Perhaps any research you'd like to do? Any other skills you'd like to be to hone or become proficient in, or something like that, or any other tasks you'd like to accomplish? Things you'd like to spend money on, if you wanted to go shopping or anything like that.
Do you guys want to send another group, or this is probably at the very end because I kind of want the timing to match up for sending to the other group.
Okay.
Well, I understand. So let's do that. Let's do that last. Let's do everything else first, and then we'll do that last. Just remind me.
So I think we want to have the Zushi and Jinfushi and Pebbles over for dinner, right? At the very least, check in on them. Maybe drop the bomb on this information we found out, but maybe not.
I think so. We trust him and he trusts us. We might as well be simpatico on the information that we know,
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. All right. And then, I'd like to do a little bit more research and see if this Formian has come up in any sense. Try to do a bit more in the Psychological Awareness Fund, now that we have another name.
Just have one question. Are we staying on land or going on sea again?
Oh, yeah, what are we going to do next?
Because if we're going on C, then I want to make an adjustment for my cannon.
I think probably C, right? I mean,
Yeah, I would assume so. I mean,
we should probably check out some of the bird shit spots, right?
Yes.
right.
Entirely up to
Right.
you. There's a multitude of things that you could do. There's also don't forget that there is the not necessity but helpful use of resources as far as gathering support before you take this case to court. Granted, there is no court date set in stone because formal written lawsuit, or as it were, it has not been submitted as of yet. So, and there's a reason for that, because you guys and the survivors of cultural injustice want to stay under the radar as much as they possibly can before they become a target. So gathering support is helpful, whether you gather support that is here or anywhere else in the world. I mean, that's also something that could be part of the agenda there. But yes, investigating these locations that you found that have some sort of Leviathan or signals. Remember, these are also the same areas that EU, the sentient whale and his pod, had mentioned hearing a signal coming from that had bothered them a lot and caused their whole pod to start moving to different locations.
And Carver.
And
Mention
Carver.
these places.
Mhm.
EU? You mean EO?
EO
EO, yeah.
was his name.
EO
Yeah.
was his name.
Yeah, I think perhaps we should, because I remember what Argus said. He said that their bag of holding wasn't doing the job, and I'm assuming that the book eventually will not be able to do the job either. I'm assuming
Yeah.
it's kind of similar as far
Right.
as how it kind of holds things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
I mean,
It's
has anyone heard anything lately from, or had any bad dreams?
No, over the course of these 3 weeks, no, it's been all quiet on the fetish front, as far as that is concerned. Granted, I assume you guys don't keep the book on your person, but probably keep it in a very safe space within the estate that no one else but you guys would know where it is. Possibly in the same hidden safe that Autumn Breeze had all of his stuff. But that's entirely up to you.
Yeah. But that's also where we're sleeping, right? So
Ish, yeah. Granted, you haven't. None of the guests have complained about any nightmares, whether they would or not. It's
True.
a different issue, but
have we ever given our testimony, by the way, to the seeker, formally, as nobles, stamped?
not as of yet.
notarized?
No.
should probably
Probably
do
a
that
good idea.
before we peace out. Yeah.
Granted, you didn't really have a notary like Raisin Toman before.
Right.
So also you haven't really seen the Seeker. From what you've heard from the other core
did.
and crew guests,
No, we both did. Yeah.
I saw him.
The Scoop
He was
and
the-
Cameron.
right?
hanging out
He's been hanging out. Right. That's
Zen-
what I meant to
Zen.
infer, was that he's been hanging out with Zen Kudalon at this and the Salty Mystic this entire time. Pretty much assumes that everyone is safe under your care and has been hanging out with the Salty Mystic this whole time.
So we should leave our we should get a testimony notarized by Toman,
Mhm.
give it to the
Okay.
seeker, and let him know that we're peacing out to
Great. So at
Destroy
this
this
point,
thing.
I do want to make a firm note for you guys. I want to know, as we start building a case, because there's going to be a mechanic that I'm currently building to do this whole court case and all this thing that I'm currently figuring out, and some really cool stuff that I'm working on. I highly recommend that you keep very good notes as to the support, the documents, and the types of testimonies that you are collecting, because it will most likely affect things like difficulty classes and checks for like arguments during the case, just like a lawyer would prepare their case. So this would probably be one of those things. You would as far as mechanically interview, or however you would like, the seeker, roll some checks to see how well this testimony is documented to help with your case later on. So what will happen is that when you start doing these things, and as you start gathering support, we'll do kind of like mini game checks. I will then have you say, okay, cool, you have a testimony from blah 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 so and so, and I'll have you write down what the average was pretty much of your checks for that, and keep record of that, because that'll come into play. It's a tool that'll help us later, that kind of thing.
Based on the fact that both Tammy and Misheni are like scientists or trained, that could they possibly help the seeker be like, oh, make sure you document XYZ in this logical fashion and stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I ain't no lawyer though.
No, but it's at least
logical minds at work, you know?
Yeah. Do we have a lawyer?
I was about to say, might be a good idea. Might be good idea to find the whole process of gathering support. So this is like another part of like the mechanic of doing this thing, is that if you intend to do this, because you guys sounded pretty gung-ho, but like, let's find actual lawful justice for these people. So I built a mechanic for it. And so you guys can go out and gather support. A lawyer is probably a really good perk for this. Someone who actually knows the law, knows how the courts in Mamung actually work, would be a big thing too. So yeah, that could
something
be
we can talk to the Zushi about at our dinner.
That's a great point. Yeah. So get a lawyer. Probably good to have the lawyer on retainer anyway, because I'm sure somebody will sue us at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, make a honey-do list.
Couldn't we
Hey, my farm is on fire. Why is that?
I'm sorry, Cam, what was that?
Can we just use Raisin Toma?
He's not a lawyer.
He's not a lawyer. He knows a lot.
The rules.
Yes, but he is a temporary. This is not his permanent placement. He moves around to other things.
He's just a fancy man.
He's professional fancy man.
He's a professional fancy man.
But he's here until we behave the way he wants, in a sense. So if we don't behave the way...
Essentially, the next time you depart this city and you've gotten all your ducks in a row in Saivesh, he's going to go back to doing his like next job.
Okay, so I have invite the Zushi and entourage for dinner, find a major domo, give our testimony to the seeker, get a lawyer.
Granted, you could always ask him to be like a witness, but you know,
he wasn't a witness though.
No, but he could be a character witness.
He was a witness for the rift, though, too, right? That bit.
He was on the deck the whole time. He didn't come down until the very end. But he didn't hear all the screams.
Getting Yukari's statement would be powerful, right? Getting Captain Yukari's statement.
Yeah,
Amada
Yukari does have sway. She is an admiral in the Navy, so her name is Captain. So she's established as captain of the ship.
So she perpetrated that shit.
She did.
Yes. So technically, so it's the. I'm sorry. Just I don't mean to interrupt, but but I have to. It's not the naval as the same as the ranks in this hierarchy, unfortunately. She is the captain of the ship, meaning like it was shorthand for references she was in charge of the Sutamabora. However, she is one of the most highest ranking. I don't want to give it too many titles because then it'll get too confusing. She is one of the most highest ranking members of the military as far as the Navy is concerned, which is why she was put in charge of the flagship for the Cauldron Initiative.
I mean, I guess I meant more that it will be a powerful testimony in the fact that she's the perpetrator and less the fact that she is high ranking.
Well, yeah, on both fronts, actually. She is a well-renowned individual who a lot of trust has been put in for the Northern Dynasty. And yes, the fact that somebody who supposedly and allegedly committed these, well, that's what these people are going to say, allegedly committed these atrocities is speaking out against their own benefit. The only thing that I would say to be aware of with that is people might think, oh, coercion might be in play here.
Did we grab the documents from like her personal log from the ship during that time?
It is still on the ship. It is still on the ship. Unless you did. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I don't remember.
I have to dig in my notes, but
yeah.
But that could be something that's pretty damning otherwise.
I believe there was something that the Scoop or one of you found that was like, oh, she's starting to like, her log journal is like changing. Like her mindset and her values are starting to like be a little altered and like not necessarily in a rapid fashion, but like more than what a normal person would change over the course of many years, like their personality. Like this, it became more curt and black and white rather than like, shades of gray, which is like why she was put in that position in the first place.
Oh, what the hell? Oh. So, land or sea? How are we doing?
I think sea, right? It is easier for us to travel. It's faster, right? I mean, except for, of course, if we find another portal type thing,
We're getting pretty good at it, too.
The places that you are familiar with on land, if I'm not mistaken, are Jianhar, which is the location of where the origin of the ward Pebbles in a Flowing River came from, and there's that whole like firewall thing going on with that, and how it's like pretty much been just left alone as its own independent because the Northern Dynasty can't be bothered because it's just been too much of an issue. There is Namang, which is the capital. There is Longdeck, which is the hometown of our beloved Tamrin, and there's Saivesh. These are the places that you're the most intimately familiar with. As far as land is concerned, and the Northern Dynasty.
We could possibly also message Captain Godemir. And they could be at least a character witness to what we're saying, is
Yeah.
Something that's
true.
It's kind of a neutral entity that has some sort of authority, though. It wouldn't be core or halfling, right?
But not really so much in the Northern Dynasty, though, right? Aren't they more? They're more from
the Razor Fang.
Yeah.
But it's still,
Like, would they even really be well known in the Northern Dynasty? How much like interaction is there between those dynasties?
DM.
Between the Northern and Southern Dynasty, or the Razorfang Agreement?
No, between
and
the Razorfang Agreement and the Northern. Yeah. Second one.
Right. Well, one of the biggest interactions. Well, actually, everybody roll a history check for me. It's a very good question. Most likely, Misheni would be the one that would know the most about this.
Yeah, but I got a 23, so.
Oh.
Too.
You got 23 also?
I got a dirty 20.
Yeah, do you study history too?
Well,
Nice.
history.
I just from Papa Micah.
And Cam, what did you get?
I'm just kicking the dirt. Not even.
You're just like, yeah, sure.
Okay.
So yeah, the three of you, Nakano, Misheni, and Tamara, immediately what comes to mind is like, oh yeah, the fucking like underground channels / tunnels that connect the Maw and like Brackstar and those other cities there to the Twin Isles are huge. They were a huge cooperative endeavor, mostly done by the miners and diggers and craftsmen of the Razorfang Agreement. Created these massively long, hundreds of miles of long channels that go under the seabed that connect the mainland of CrestVahllen to the Twin Isles. There are two specifically, one that goes to the Northern Dynasty and ones that goes to the Southern Dynasty. And I'm just going to just pull up my map real quick, just so I have. Pardon me. Okay, here we go. Right. So, yes, Brackstar connects to the Northern Dynasty. There's an underground channel, as you can see in the map, Tamron, that you have, whereas there isn't a named town that connects the Southern Dynasty to basically what's called Orderon, which is a town / city / village in the Southern Dynasty. But on the Meresian side, there isn't a town marked on the map. There may very well be civilization there, but it's not marked on the map. So these are when like big lots of trade needs to go. It's a far slower manner, and in a more consistent flow. These were built to do these such things. Granted, it's very well aware to you specifically, Tamron, because of how you're archaeologist and you know how plates shift. These are eventually gonna be an issue as plates start to shift, but that's not going to be an issue for another couple thousand years. So these provide alternate trade routes rather than just going over the sea. So things that can't be on a ship could go through those. And that was a huge undertaking, cooperation. The Maw, the Razorfang Agreement, the Coalition of the Golden Dawn, which is the Meresian peoples, the Razorfang Agreement, and the Twin Isles all worked together on that, which is one of the very few group projects. And the reason why it was agreed upon was because it was going to help trade all around for everybody was going to win. It was a win-win-win for everybody. The Razorfang Agreement did front most of the bill, given half by the Twin Isles, and the Meresian were just there. The Coalition of Golden Dawn was just there for pretty much got to be the middleman that got half of the riches, because they were just like, we don't have to do anything, and all we just have to do is allow you to build this on our land, and we're going to make a ton of money. Which is great. So they didn't really have to do anything. Razorfang did most of the grunt work, and Twin Isles fronted the bills. Granted, this happened during the time when the Twin Isles were still at war with each other. So there was a petition to pretty much pay the Razorfang to build one to the Northern Dynasty first, and the Southern Dynasty heard about it and shit, we got to build one too, or we're going to be left in the dust. And so it became kind of like a space race thing, where an arms race where they both are trying to build the tunnel at the same time. And the Razorfang Agreement got super rich off of it, because the Tok'ran was like, yeah, sure, we'll take your money. We don't care who's doing what.
Right. So would Captain Godamir be a good character witness?
Sorry, we went pretty deep on that one.
Probably.
Probably.
Maybe at least recognized, right?
Yeah.
That it's not just like a rando walking down the streets, you know?
Yeah.
It would be completely neutral to either sides.
We did kidnap him for a while, though.
Well, there are fucking these squid boys on the ship. Like, what?
That's
like,
true. That's true.
oh,
Yeah.
we can't talk about it. We can't talk about it, though. Remember, but
Yep.
we left on good terms. It's okay.
Yeah, we did.
I know this might sound stupid, but friendly Granny was there, right? During the attack.
No,
Yeah.
who's friendly Granny?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who's friendly Granny?
Well, she was the one to help me find the Seeker to begin with. I don't know, like, if anybody else knows who she is, though, or if she's important to anybody, but she's important to me and you, Scoop. But I don't know if, like, now entering the stand, friendly Granny, people would be like, okay.
Right.
Like, I know her.
Yeah.
Granted,
is she?
if
Is she
people got a little bit more
friend
insight as to like what she was, like a hag with like possibly like there are stories of hags, like like they have amazing powers. Granted, inviting a hag to the witness stand of a court is
that's what I was
unorthodox to say at the very least. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm here for it. I'm so here for it.
I don't think a Scoop or Tamara knows she's a hag.
No, I think we figured it out because of the hag.
Scoop knows because
The
of
other
Scoop's
granny,
childhood.
Yeah, and
You guys
We figured out with
discussed
Lonely
this
Granny.
at length. I think a Scoop
Yeah,
probably
we
has a
figured it-
better
we
idea that they
sussed this
did.
out.
Yeah, especially since when you
and
correlated your information with the Argent Flame about like, oh, we met another one, and blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah. This
Oh,
happened, and they were like,
okay.
oh shit, there's a coven or something.
Finding the third
Okay.
Granny has been like half of my goal this whole campaign.
Rip. Happy goal.
so
To make it our goal.
you want.
Speaking of
wait,
which,
this
you can
one-
ask the Argent Flame about that if you'd like.
Oh, you think they've discovered a third Granny?
No comment.
I mean, you could.
What were you saying, Machete?
So this friendly Granny,
Be right back.
you correlated that she's probably also a hag. You want to call her on the witness stand?
I didn't think that through, honestly.
Why?
I don't know. Like,
I mean, she is very friendly. People like her.
Like, does she look weird though? Like, I mean, okay, so
she doesn't. I mean, what did she look like to you, Tamarin? I remember.
Like a
her.
friendly old granny. She's like, come, thank you for coming into my house and helping me
I'm not
with
sure if it was just.
it.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
she's
If
just a
it's-
nice grandma.
Oh. I'm not
What do
sure.
you know? What do you know about her?
I'm just saying, like, I'm not sure if it was just my young age.
Was
but
she
when
mean?
I saw her, well, no, she was nice. She helped out my family.
Yeah, she's friendly.
okay.
But like,
Um,
with the appearance, I'm not sure if it was just because I was small, and like when children have that vision, it's like everything's bigger in a sense.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
perspective
She was
thing.
like tall.
I don't think she was. She was just a regularly sized woman. I think when I met her.
Okay.
Oh,
Did you not see her when you weren't? You didn't see her in Zarkor, did you? A Scoop.
Mm,
no, I wasn't EO.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right. The whole time, pretty well.
That's
Yeah.
what you told me. Not her, so.
But
Maybe
she was-
EO could be a witness.
the thought crossed my mind. I mean, that's a good question. You could probably send a message to EO. Maybe he could
Although-
come. But how? Yeah, they might not think it might be considered like a three-ring circus if we call in EO.
Yeah, and then it's also like the whale told me that I'm correct. You know, that seems very silly.
AJ, just a question: Was Friendly Granny's appearance different than when Tamron saw Friendly Granny?
You mean your first interaction with said individual?
Yes.
Their appearance, yes, very much so. Remember, from
Okay.
what you experienced, Tamron, it was an older core woman, like a grandmother core woman. That was
Ordinary
like
stature, right?
gone when or like wasn't like gone. No, like yeah, they were just there. Remember, there were like two twins in like the slums.
Yeah. One of them was the Seeker.
One of the twins was the Seeker
she
because
was
she's
just-
like, we don't
she-
have twins.
My whole interaction with her was like fairly mundane, seemingly, right? Like
It was friendly.
we had dinner together. Yeah, we had dinner together, and like there was nothing like crazy happening. Besides,
Right. The only clue you had as to who she
yeah.
was is because there's some people that called me Friendly Granny. And that was it. And they
Right.
said, oh, I met somebody called Friendly Granny. And Scoop was like, I'm sorry, you met who?
Right,
And
but
so you
otherwise
had
there wasn't
no
any, like,
clue.
crazy magic or like
No.
weird shit going on. Yeah.
Right. Which, if no magic or weird shit was involved, why was she there?
Does she doesn't live there apparently, right? Because you knew her back in wherever you're from.
All the way back in Hashima, I believe is.
Yeah.
I mean, I can ask her why she was there.
That's true, but I mean, just like, hey, why are you there? Like, calling out of the blue. Like, would you want to ask her too? Like, what she wanted to be a witness, or?
I don't know. Let's ask the quiet one. Nakano!
What? Why are you asking me?
I don't know.
Because, inviting a hag to dinner is usually
It's a hell of a party.
unorthodox. Yeah.
I mean, I'm all for it, but you don't.
Okay.
Why not?
I mean, I don't really know much about hags. Is it
I know,
bad?
right?
Like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, I don't
Well-
know what's bad about that.
Well, we know at least from the Argent Flame that they had to make deals with the one for them to even get to us, right? So, like,
I
there's
kind of
not-
had to make a bit of a deal to get to the Seeker.
right. Well,
I remember it being a very nice deal. It was like it was something just like help me and I'll help you. And
It
I
was
just
a trading of stories, if I remember.
oh, that's right. You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
It does do that, yes.
So maybe that's not terrible. I mean, they had to cut off a hand.
Yeah, like I
Remember?
said, it was a very nice trade.
Yeah, yours sounds much better.
Friendly Granny.
Yeah. Wait, what is that in quotes? What did
What?
she do to me?
I'm just.
What don't I know?
I'm just saying. There's a
Right,
reason.
alone.
Friendly. It's like there in the name.
Well,
Yeah. But that's why
why-
I'm like,
yeah.
maybe she would be a good witness. Like,
But now why does
know she's
why
a hag?
now why does Lonely Granny need a hand?
I don't know. She's probably weird and lonely.
They I don't think they fully knew.
Oh
I
God.
reckon
Yeah.
Sean got caught onto that.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
12 again. Yeah, I don't know, but like, so what? Okay, sorry. Why would she be a good witness other than just being friendly?
She was
That's a good
there.
point. Yeah, but so are all these other people.
Right.
Like I'm saying, she's significant to us, but she's not significant to like a court of law.
They'll just be like, oh, she's a nice old woman. Great.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, she doesn't have the same, like, I'm assuming, again, with based on what Rayzan has been telling, Tolman has been telling us, she doesn't have that same sort of clout, that noble clout that's
Can we?
other folks might have.
Sorry, can we roll like for something to know what hags are, or is that just?
The folklore that their origin shrouded in mystery, extremely powerful, and the recommendation, like they're included in a lot of like bedtime stories and like Mother Goose stories, but we know how like gruesome those actually were, or like the stories grim, that kind of thing. Is saying like, hey, don't get lost in the forest and listen to your parents, or the hags will go get you, that kind of thing. Or if they're just are assumed as these very powerful entities, like I said, whose origins are shrouded in mystery, and who knows how long they've been around. And most people just say, hey, just stay away from them. If you ever see one, you're probably fucked, but try to run away. Just because things that people don't understand, they fear.
I mean,
I guess it's not good to bring in a hag
Yeah.
if people disprove them.
yeah.
I don't think
Sorry,
it really makes
Nakano,
any sense.
Most often than not, things that people don't understand, they fear, especially powerful things that could be possibly dangerous.
Yeah. If we can't bring Neo, I feel like a hag, even though she's very nice, might be about the same level of kind of unorthodox.
Yeah, a little absurd
Yeah.
and unnecessary. They'd be like, why?
We could do
You have all these other people with the same clout, like the same amount of witnesses witnessing.
Mhm.
Yeah. I would love to see how that works out, but it doesn't really make any sense story-wise.
I mean, I think we have to bring Fenmi in, right?
Yeah.
The adult survivor.
And Sailflick, that would be that'll be look, the jury will respond to like a child witness, like that's pretty heavy.
And she can repeat sounds.
Oh, huge! Yes. That's huge. She can exactly recall what was said.
What?
But
that is true.
I'm sorry. I think I just DM. I think during that time we had rolled and we had determined that she could only remember certain things for a while, right? I think we did. If not, I mean, okay.
So you have about 2 more months, ish.
Okay.
But I mean, she'll roll for it, and she'll see if she can pull it.
Yeah.
Remember, the big thing that got you on the whole thing was when you rescued her. The whole thing of Korsh, the savage.
No survivors.
No witnesses. No survivors.
Yep.
Yeah, that was huge.
I think we, maybe we try to bring her in, and at least she goes first, and then have Korsh sit on the stand, and it's the exact same voice.
I don't even know how to communicate with her. She only understands certain words, though.
Is it?
It was more.
No, she understands them. She just can't speak. Right.
So it might be difficult to have a dialogue with her, but anything that you send to her, she can fully understand.
What did Korsh say to you? No witnesses, no survivors.
Granted, you don't know where she is at the moment. You have to track her down.
No,
bombshell.
The whole issue was
blow the case wide open.
I couldn't even communicate with the Sailflick just because. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, no, it could work, especially since you're sending to her mind. She at least understands fully there. She was probably a little traumatized when we were first talking to her too, so she might not have been as responsive as she might be now. I mean, she's still probably traumatized, but maybe a little time's passed. So.
Ooh, yes. Yes. Looking at my sheet like it's going to be something other than 1. Why not bend luck since we're just hanging out?
Why not?
10.
Spells that can alter language, like comprehend languages and stuff like that. Not that you like know or that you have the whole knowledge of, but you assume with this like basic kind of like not understanding, but knowledge of it, being aware out there that there might be other spells that could help with communication. I mean, goodness sake, you have like messages you can send. You can point at something and send a message like 100 feet away or whatever. You can do sending. You can send message to anybody as long as like you know who they are. Comprehend languages allows you to understand and read any languages. There are multitude of probably other spells and arcane works out there that could aid in this endeavor. However, it would be up to you to seek those out. Or deep delve into the knowledge of your new bloodline to see if you can find it.
Ramsey.
You're yeah.
Oh, okay.
Buddy.
Yeah.
Are we going to take this? I mean, are we going to try to take the Pseudomabora, or are we going to take the Pawnbringer?
To our
Who's
next
it?
thing? Or to the trial? Oh, gosh, Ramsey.
I mean, after the trial.
I mean, the Supermora is
safe.
not ours. I think
Yeah.
they,
I
right?
think that they would want that, the Navy would want that back.
Also, what the fuck are we gonna do with the missing cannons? We can only keep this ruse going on for so
Oh
long.
my god, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Should we try to find the cannons?
Yeah, probably. Because nobody's gonna believe us that some fish people took them.
Yeah.
Find the cannons? Oh.
Bring them back up one by one with the winch while we get attacked by another Kraken.
I mean, I don't want to be in that much debt, do you?
No.
That's too much.
Yeah.
Also, what do
I
we
mean-
take on, like a whole city of fish people?
Corrupted fish people at that.
Yeah.
Right?
Probably the whole town, yeah.
Yeah. Do we know about how much a cannon might be? Like, we do have a good amount.
I think
Why don't we just
uh,
run away?
I think someone said 1,500 gold.
Per cannon.
Yes.
That's not as bad as I would have thought, honestly.
But, like,
I mean,
there's 30
that's our
cannons
whole
missing.
party
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
we can
yeah.
buy one cannon right now, guys.
Granted, 1,500 gold is a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, that's true.
1,500 gold
Think
is
about how
more
much, like, an
money than
ICBM
a normal
costs, you know?
person sees in a lifetime.
Can we sell the cannons?
We don't have any cannons. We have one cannon on our ship.
I don't think 1,500 gold was the number. It'd be more like,
No, I was just making up a number.
it'd be closer to 15,000 than it would be 1,500.
That's what I would thought, yeah.
Right.
Granted, if you have an inn with the people that make them, probably can get put down.
Hey, 14,000.
Godamir probably knows some people.
Yeah, that's true.
We have a $15,000 cannon.
15,000 gold, yeah. Apparently.
Probably closer to 15,000 than it is 1,500, but you'd if you want to, pardon me, see if you can sell your cannon on the black market. You can see what like the black market price goes for it, or you can try to inquire buying a cannon. Granted, the whole process of trying to buy the only people that can afford cannons are the uber rich guys, and the sale of them is highly regulated, because only like actual nations and their governments are buying them, or like super uber rich individuals.
Have we tried asking Toman what to do about all? No, we probably shouldn't tell him about all the cannons.
I mean, he kind of knows, though. I mean, he saw the ship.
Oh, you're right. Actually, he would be a perfect witness for that. He saw the
He
cannons
would. He
being
could-
stolen.
Yes, he can
There we
notarize
go.
that.
All right, we're not all
Bam.
going to jail. That's
Yay!
great.
For a crime we didn't commit. That's great.
Can-
If
can
I'm
we
going to go to the
take-
jail, at least have fun.
Yeah.
Can we take a cannon?
I should be writing down on some sort of like legal log somewhere, because
Okay.
you should be keeping track of this stuff. Like, hey, we have a witness that Toman didn't saw the cannons being stolen, so we have somebody to call upon other than us that proves that we didn't cannon. We have testimony from this person. We have this person as a possible character witness. Like this. Make sure you keep a log of this stuff, because the legal process of the court it's gonna be hopefully fun, but there's gonna be a lot of moving pieces and parts. So definitely recommend keeping this organized. You guys have to act like paraprofessional legal
Well, this is why
paralegal
we're going to
professional.
hire a lawyer, right? We're not lawyers. We don't know how to do this.
Right, but granted, the lawyer can only do so much with they're great at convincing a jury, but if they don't
I
have
guess so.
documents and like
But
information,
also,
the lawyer
me,
wasn't there.
Sean doesn't know how to build a case.
Here we go. D&D. What was that? Futurama, single female lawyer.
yeah,
What was that?
Yeah.
yeah,
My
that's
mock
what it was.
trial years are coming into play right now.
Right.
Yeah, we have to do a mock trial. Yeah.
Well, no, that was the thing.
Yeah. In high school, we
Jenny
had to do mock
did-
trials. Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to love that. It was so much fun. I got
think I did
drafted
it
to
in
the
middle school.
debate team because of how much fun I had on that.
Yeah. You were the lawyer, right?
Oh, I was for sure the lawyer. I won my case mostly, like I had a good amount of evidence, but I think I ended up bribing the jury out of the courtroom. I was a bad lawyer.
By the way, when we get Korsh and Sailflick together, you have to make sure that Korsh is silent when they're together, so that they can't be like, "Oh, she just heard him say that just now," or they just had, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Granted, as I've said, you still have to track down Sailflick.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So, can we at least say that, like, we do over the next week get, like, at least a testimony from Raisin that we didn't steal the cannons just because we're literally
Absolutely,
hanging out
absolutely.
with him and
Yeah.
So,
everybody else
like
we
I
might
said,
have to go talk
gathering
to, but-
testimonies are going to be checks. So I'd say gathering testimony from Raisin is going to be an intelligence check from Raisin to see how eloquently he can help you do something. And I'll say, since you are the ones building the case, you're in charge. Raisin can't be in charge of building the case. Otherwise, that would be a conflict of interest, seeing as he is one of your witnesses. Who would like to head the documentation process of this?
I guess I'll do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'll help you.
You
Um,
got that. You look pretty serious, like you're note taking right there. So I feel like
I'm just writing down like who we want testimony from.
Okay.
So us, Fenmi, Yakari.
It's Yukari. Imada Yukari.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Just a handful of witnesses from Zoncourt, right? Just
Yeah.
townsfolk. Maybe we
Survivors of cultural
see who
injustice.
has, yeah. Maybe we just see who has like a more, for lack of a better word, dramatic story.
And charismatic demeanor.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, Tamron, describe to me, I don't mean to cut you off, but just describe to me how you would like to extract this information from Tomin. And depending on how you do it will depend on like what type of check you're going to make.
Well, I figured we'd just go to I mean, they're all staying with us, right? So I'll just take some time to go to each person, ask them a handful of questions. Where were you when this happened? What did you observe? Who did you observe? You know.
Great. So you want to do the crew / refugees first.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So here's what I'll say. Some of them are quite guarded with this because, you know, it was a traumatic experience, and
they understand what I'm doing, though, right?
Yes, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's still difficult for them to rehash. You know.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say you can roll a charisma check, and I'll say because you're in this setting, you've done so much for them, and you're being aided by like the Raisin and by your other companions, you can make a charisma check at advantage.
Cool.
And then I am
with
going
bad
to.
luck.
Sure, that's fine. Yeah. And then I will, give me 1 second, and I'll go get my information and stats for these individuals.
Oh my god.
At advantage?
Better.
I rolled a 2 and a 3.
That's the worst.
You could do Tides of Chaos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to do Tides of Chaos. That's insane. Oh my god, a 1 and an 8. This is insane.
Wow, you really.
All right, well, it's still not horrible because I got a 4 with the luck, bend luck.
Oh, that's good.
Then
And
my
that's still a check.
Charisma is +3. That's it. Well,
Maybe we can, depending on how this rolls out, maybe
Sorry,
we also.
guys.
You're good. It's the dice being crappy.
no.
Maybe we also get that lawyer, and maybe they also talk to them, and
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Maybe we should have a lawyer present for this.
yeah, at least Toman can, ratify or just at least certify exactly what that. Yes, it was said.
Mhm.
Be that notary. Can't hear you, TJ.
Yeah, I got a 15 with Tides of Chaos and Benlock.
Okay. It's not bad. 15's not bad. That's,
I rolled a 2 and a
3/4.
3 and then a 1 and then an 8.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh, big oof. Okay. So
Yeah.
we're going to have.
But I got 15 though. All
That's-
told.
Yeah.
That's pretty good still. Okay. You get some, broken parts of what had happened. Granted, that's how this process works. And you're starting to this is your first chance at like gathering testimonies, and you were thinking like, oh, okay, I'm just going to get the full story from each one of them, and they're all going to corroborate each other. And you realize that, oh crap, it's not that easy. Each person has like a slightly different story, or like a piece of the story, and I have to like a puzzle, put all these pieces together to create a full story, to really get like everything that's going on, because people were in different places when things were happening. People had like, different viewpoints, some people's like opinions or whatever, or just what they saw during the event like changes and alters. So you find it difficult to create something, but at the end, because you have such a wealth of information and wealth of people to interview that did have firsthand experience as to what was happening, you do get a cohesive account of what had happened. So you can go ahead and write down 15 for the testimony of the Survivors of Cultural Injustice, the SCI, if you'd like. And just make a note of that. It's a solid testimony. It is, I'm not going to lie, it's a hard read. It's hard to get through without evoking some emotion, which it's bittersweet, but that's good. Because however this jury or court is going to go, you need to evoke that type of emotion.
I'm going to wait one day before my next testimony.
Sure, cheese it. I really should keep track of these days, but whatever.
Then I want to specifically get an account from Fenmi about what happened aboard that ship.
Sure. Do you want to be the one to head it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh, actually, maybe a scoop. Maybe you should do that, since you're more intimate with Fenmi, right? You're more of her friend. I mean, I don't know her very well, but you definitely were there for her on that fateful day, right?
Well, yes, I could be there with you, I guess, but I'm not really a talker, or I'm not really, charismatic with people, of course.
Trigger, depending on how you go about this, depends on what check I'm going to make you do. So it's not always going to be a charisma check. Is what I'm saying.
Either or.
Is there a friendship check?
A friendship check.
Well, because your wisdom is high, right? You appealed to her wisdom when you were, like in that fish. Remember, convincing her to kind of join the fight and to not just give up completely in the face of like indescribable loss.
I guess. I don't. It was all sloshy in that tongue, with that tongue around. I thought it was more just trying to make sure Self wasn't freaking out or causing disturbance.
I just remember there were moments between you and Fenmi that were very.
You were the one that convinced her not to straight up murder somebody.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy to do it. I just thought maybe, since you knew her, you know her more than me, but you're a friend. But maybe if you're just there, maybe that's good. Maybe that'll help.
What if we tag team?
What's that?
I said, what if we tag teamed?
Yeah. Or you can just be there to kind of comfort her, because I know this is going to be a difficult job.
I'm good in stressful and instant situations, but this is
okay,
a little bit more slow. So
yeah, well, just come with me, just because
Okay.
She knows you more than me.
Okay, great. You guys head over to Fenmi's room, Fenmi shares a room with several others. You can sit her down, some wine and some cheese, and just have it be a little bit more comfortable setting by the fire, a couple drinks, be like, okay, let's do this, and get her account. I'll say that you can do one of two things. Either a scoop can roll an insight check straight, or Tamron can roll a charisma check at advantage. Because if I'm not wrong, Scoop's insight is rather high.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I can also do Ties of Chaos and re-roll again.
I won't be able. Yeah, this is if it's insight, I can't use guidance, of course. I assume.
You could enhance ability yourself if you'd like, because that does last for an hour. That's about the time that would take for you to. That could be something you could do. Be like,
I can also bend luck on you too.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, do
Alright.
you want to do? Well,
Depends on
No, go for
which
it. I
one
think-
of you wants to take the head
How
on
high is
this.
your insight? Yeah. Like I said, I think you should.
All right.
All right, and I'll just bend luck for you right away.
What is that?
Plus add 3.
It's a D4, but he rolled it for you.
Yeah. 18.
18, pretty good. So Cameron. A Scoop and Tamron, you sit down with Fenmi, and Fenmi is. It looks like she went through some stuff, a little bit more of like self-discovery and like healing during the trip that took her here. And so you sense that it's painful for her to recount what it is that happened and what she specifically did. So her responses are curt and to the point, and but also short, and she doesn't elaborate a whole lot. Granted, a Scoop, with your insight, you are able to infer the meaning of what it is that she's trying to say, and are able to elaborate yourself with really good accuracy what it is that she's trying to say. And like, you know, you sit between Tamron and Fenmi as you do this near the fire, and as you transcribe this information, and Fenmi looks over every once in a while and it's like, yeah, that's right, and she nods. She just quietly nods, to making sure, like, not like about 70% of the stuff you're writing down isn't stuff that she's actually said out with her mouth, but you can sense it's what she's trying to convey with the few words that she's using. And eventually she does sign it and is happy to close the book on that for now.
I need to be a witness too, but
Yeah. That's what she says, like, for now.
yeah.
She knows that she's going to have to back that up. But her written testimony is she's still in the process of healing. You know, she's got a lot of stuff still stored out in her own life, but she's starting to figure out what that means. So I'm going to do a roll here. Okay. I want you to go ahead and put down a 17 for Fenmi's testimony.
And then I'll go ahead and do Yukari next, sir.
Okay.
I think that should be with Nakano. I mean,
Why do you think so?
Zari Laffy. They had like a connection, so I would assume.
Oh yeah.
Mhm. The rope climbing.
Yeah.
Zari Lotfi is missing,
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
and so is Fruth Lavud.
I feel like they can kind of connect through Zari Laffy if something goes wrong.
Right, and remember, you sensed some sort of like intimacy between the Captain Umada Yukari and Zari Lotfi, like possibly romance.
Oh, for sure, romance. Okay, we still have to do Yukari and Korsh. I'm going to pretty much ask them the same questions.
Okay. Do you want to do it the same way, or do you want somebody else to
Yeah.
head this?
I mean, I can help with Korsh.
Okay.
Their
Um,
spells.
Who was the person that stopped Captain
Or
Amada
from
from
dying?
taking her own life?
Me.
That sounds like a
I
scoop
was
thing.
pretty much just saved
Yeah.
everyone on that ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you. Well, I think you like.
to an
yeah.
extent. I Korsh didn't kill himself. Well, he killed himself, but I killed him back to life, and Fenby wanted to stab Imada to death,
Mhm. And then
but I stood in the way.
then who
Who was in the
stopped
captain's
Imada
cabin
from
when
killing
Imada
herself?
tried to fire her gun on herself? Was that Nakano?
Can't remember.
I can't remember.
Can't
either.
remember who it was.
I feel like it was me.
Might have been you.
Yeah,
I think I
because-
casted a spell or shot someone shot something at the gun.
I can't remember what happened.
I can't remember either. That's okay. So who's doing? Let's get this over with. Who's doing captain? It's doing Amada Yukari.
Do you want to do Nakano, me, and you Tamarin again?
Say that again?
Mom.
What Nakano?
You and I are gonna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nakano and a scoop. Doing Captain Amada. Great.
Yeah. Mhm.
You
Okay.
just want to stay in the background, Tamarin?
Sure.
Okay. So,
Taking
how would you
notes.
like to go about it? And that will determine
Writing
what type
down
of check this
numbers.
is and who would like to head it.
While this is all happening, can I be like going about town trying to find a lawyer? Would that be okay?
Sure. Yeah.
You know.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll come with you because I have high charisma and that speaks well with lawyers too.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe.
I'm just gonna get Larna.
So, I can also wait. I can also wait until we're done with this if you
No,
want.
it's fine. It's fine. Why don't you do me a favor and roll an investigation check to see if you both of you can roll an investigation check to see if you have any clue as to where to start looking for someone like this.
The lawyer, Lurie.
Second.
The lawyer Lurie or the bar establishment. Okay, so I need to know from you, Nakano and a scoop, how is it that you intend to interrogate / gather the testimony of this individual, of Captain Amada?
I'll give her enhanced ability for charisma. Nakano.
What are you doing?
I'm giving you an advantage on charisma when it comes.
Charisma. Okay.
Yeah.
So Nakano, how would you like to gather this information from Captain Amada?
Actually, I better stay back so I can give luck.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
actually.
I mean,
Yeah.
worst case scenario, we have a little more time to find the lawyer if I can
Yeah.
yell for
He gets
one
like
down the
halfway down the road and he's like,
Yeah.
you know what?
You know what? Actually, yeah.
Yeah. In a. I mean, I don't want to interrogate. The captain. Like.
I mean, it is a little
Just
bit of
describe
an
what
interrogation.
would Nakano do
Hmm.
to gather this testimony from this individual?
Just ask many questions. I mean.
Okay, how would in what demeanor?
Not as intimidating. I won't be as intimidating. I'll try to sweet talk.
Okay, so you're trying to find common ground and persuade.
Yeah, something along those lines. Let me see what I'm good at.
Good at charisma.
Part of the
no.
song always freaks me out.
No, I'm not.
And I was like, oh,
I thought you had +3 on charisma.
You consider that good, I guess.
That's
Plus 3
as
modifier
good
is
as
pretty good.
mine, and that's my old bread and butter.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's.
Okay, so let's do, as you try to find common ground and feel empathy with the individual, go ahead and express that empathy. Go ahead and roll a straight charisma check. So just a d20 plus your charisma modifier, but you get to roll it at advantage.
And add 4
Why?
because I'm bending luck
Well, I got the
to help you.
highest. Yeah, 19.
Hell yeah!
So 4, 3, 7, 26.
26.
Yeah, and that's good. This is the one that really mattered too. I feel like
exactly.
Captain
Yeah.
Amada turns every corner of her heart over and pours her entire soul out onto the page.
Yeah.
You even learn as she confesses that she was having an affair with her one of her subordinates. What was her name? Zari Lotfi.
Zari?
Yeah, was having an affair with Zari Lotfi, which is technically not allowed because she's one of her subordinates, and there's that whole, other weird thing going on. She pours her soul out, and how, when she first joined her crew, she thought she was a spy, and she thought that she was going to kill her, but then they quickly went over that, and how she feels betrayed, and just her heart is torn out, the fact that Zari Lotfi just left without a word. Not only that, but she feels betrayed by herself that she allowed Ruth Lavud to do what he did to her, and did what her own. There are several times where she just entirely breaks down. She's a strong woman, but this is what she did was, and you're truly sensing her character here. She, in no way was these her intentions, and in no way, if she had her own agency and faculties, would she allow this to from her or any of her crewmates. Which is why she tried to stop herself mortally in order to prevent that from ever happening again. You gain probably one of the most emotionally taxing yet convincing testimonies you have here. You can go ahead and you said it was a 27?
26.
26. Okay, you can go ahead and write down a 24 for her testimony for me, please. Because I have to roll for what they're doing, and they have like modifiers depending on what they're rolling that affect that. Granted, your roll means the most. They just have their communication. At the end of it, she is emotionally, physically, and mentally drained as she, like a zombie, gets up and grabs a bottle of wine with a limp hand and heads back to her bed.
So sad.
No, of course.
Gorsh.
Okay, who would like to do that one?
Scoop, you saved his life. Do you think that he would be more responsive to you?
Regardless, I still have. I can use magic if he doesn't want to be cooperative.
Well, we don't necessarily want to, like,
No.
Kind of sully the evidence with magic. You know what I mean? Like that's not great.
One of the things that struck actually, everybody can roll an
Make him say
insight check.
anything.
Everybody can roll an insight check for me, real quick, and see what kind of like information you glean from who Courses as a person.
24.
Nat 20 for a 23.
Ooh.
Wow.
Nakano?
For
Insight.
6.
Hooray!
It's like, he's a dick. I don't like him.
Yeah.
And Tamron?
18.
18. Okay, Tamron, you get... There's a reason why he's called Course the Savage, or whatever he was called. Oh, actually, should be in my notes here.
Course the gnarly.
Course the Gnar. Course the Savage. Yes, I was correct. Look at that. He's a brute, a bruiser, the bosun, second, pretty much in charge of making sure everybody else does their job, and like the leader of the crew on there, the only second to only like the captain as far as, well, there's a hierarchy, but the crew do what he says. And in that capacity, Macheni and a Scoop, you recognize what the crew recognize in him is power and respect. And he recognizes that. So you understand that the way to go probably about getting proper information from him or doing it in a way that's not going to bruise his own ego is to put yourself above him, be stronger, brutal, more savage than him, prove to him that you deserve his respect.
Respect? We saved his life.
He owes a debt to you, but there's a difference. With people of this mindset, there's a difference.
It's like alpha dog mentality.
Kinda, yeah.
Going guns blazing, putting blade to his neck or something.
He's not dumb by any means. He's just, that's how he's run his entire life, and that's how he keeps the crew in line. So that's what he recognizes and respects. Captain Umada Yukari is not a pushover, which is you absolutely recognize as one of the reasons why Korsh follows her so
Just see
implicitly.
like how the first few sentences go, and
Sure.
see where we can lay it off, or proceed on from there.
So who would like to lead it? Also, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Miss Sherry.
You're muted.
What did
Yeah.
you get for your investigation check from that lawyer?
So I got an 8.
An 8. You have
Does
no
anybody
idea.
know a lawyer? Hello?
You find yourself at Bykem's Manor, asking her if anybody in the court has court experience. And she's like, "Oh, well, my late husband was what used to run the docks, but he was also a paralegal in his youth. I do believe I have some of the text lying around here, but unfortunately, probably the portion that's most trained in law and legal would be most likely the Zushi themselves, seeing that they have to deal with it on a daily basis. But I don't believe they passed the bar, if that's what you're looking for."
Right. I mean, I feel like it might be about the same then, right? I mean, somebody who passed the bar obviously has more clout, but the Zushi is the Zushi. So, like, all right. I mean, do you mind if are you going to use the books from your late husband for?
No, of course. It's fine. I mean, they still smell like him, so I keep them near the bedside. But I'd be more than happy to let you borrow some of the texts. Most of them just as concern tax law, because understanding that was his focus, to make sure that the taxes coming in from the port, you could get the most out of his income. But yes, feel free to take. Most of these tax law books are actually out of date, so feel free to take this entire compendium. And she hands you 15 thick tax law books.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'll return these. There wasn't like a Lawyering 101 or for dummies or something too? Do you have that? Like, hey, do you know? That's not just tax law. As interesting as it is.
No, not that I know of. And she takes one last sniff at the books. Keep them safe. Good luck.
Absolutely. Thanks. Teeter on over back to the manor.
You're carrying like as many books. You're carrying as many books as like probably how much you weigh, if not more. Like it's a lot of books. These are thick, heavy books.
Yeah. Plod along.
Sure.
Half-speed.
Great. So who's heading the testimony with Korsh?
My intimidation is +3, but I feel like so is Nakano's, and Nakano just is more intimidating than me, flavor-wise.
You're saying she looks scarier?
Well, just your general demeanor is a little bit stabbier.
She's like a hot
Stabby.
spirit.
She's a little more standoffish, yeah. She's like, do
Yeah.
what? Fuck around, find out. All right, Nakano, you want to lead
Right.
this?
Well, I guess so.
Who's backing Nakano up? Who's the
I'll be
person in
there
the back
to
going like,
bend
yeah,
luck.
what
I
she
can
said.
bend luck it.
You're like literally just like, you go.
I'll just be in the back, like arms crossed.
Yeah, I love how Timron's like, Nakano, you're scary, you do it.
Okay.
Can I give her advantage by just standing in the back, glowering
Absolutely.
at Korsh the whole time?
Absolutely.
I'm just giving. I'm gonna ask questions with my eyebrow up, one eyebrow up.
Nice. I'll
Just
bend luck
every
for the
question,
last time.
you switch eyebrows, go to the other eyebrow.
I can't do that well, but you know,
That's why I turned my head so you can't see the other eye.
Ooh, add another 4.
Ooh,
So go ahead and roll a
I'll just
charisma
be
check.
guidance too. It might as well.
roll.
Yeah, add another D4. Go ahead. It's guidance.
Pile it on.
Who's that?
As like
That's a one,
Nakano
but-
comes
oh,
in
well.
with an entourage. So go ahead and add roll.
We're just mad dogging him.
Go ahead and roll
Throw,
and
the,
nat 20
Oh shit!
throw down the red
So-
carpet.
intimidation. So add your intimidation modifier of your bonus and add 5.
Ooh, okay. Intimidation, though? What is that at? Oh, shoot, 3. Cool. So 3, 5, 28.
28. 28.
So I guess I get
This dude's shitting himself right now.
Let's hope so, you know? Like,
I whisper, "You're gonna clean it up, right?"
I think Nakano just whispers that, just says it with her eyes, like, clean.
So Tamron's the first one to walk into the
Wipe
room,
yourself.
and he just like walks into the door and then just leans up against the wall with the door on it. And then comes a Scoop who walks in the door and does the same thing, but on the other side of the doorway. And then Nakano, you don't even. So this is what happens. Nakano, one spider limb on the top of the inside of the doorway, and coming out of the shadow, just very like Doc Ock style on all 4 of her limbs, like 10 feet tall, her body just dangling there, her eyebrow up, staring down at Korsh, who's like a good 7 foot tall. She's 10 foot looking down at him, her wiry frame. She cracks her knuckles. A Scoop, you like attempt to like pseudo stop her, be like, no, that's too much. You're gonna like, we're supposed to be like good cop, bad cop. And as you touch her, you cast guidance, and she just like shrugs you off, be like, I do what I want, bitch. And you are like inches from his face, 2.5 feet taller than him, staring down with like, you smell what the rock is cooking face on, and your question is like, where were you on the day of this? This question, and immediately he just like falls backwards into his chair, and he's like, I was, and he starts like whimpering and blabbering like a child, and you like have him in the palm of your hand. Would you please write down a 30 for the testimony of course?
Shit.
But
Yes, I rolled a nice good number over here, which gives you a +2 bonus, bring it all the way to a 30.
Woo.
Could we
Damn.
do like Sybil and Tilda as well?
You
Oh,
can,
they're
but
not
weren't
really
they
part of
weren't they in the whale mouth? Or no, that was Sailflick and Fenme.
so what do we find out?
You, as far as extraneous information and like ancillary information, you find out a couple things. Correlating some timelines as to what he's saying in a couple of other testimonies, most likely he was the first one to be put under the sway of Fruth Lovud. And through his advice, more and more time was spent with him and the other, with Fruth Lovud and the other officers on the ship. So most likely Fruth Lovud singled them out as the most easy to sway and used that as an in to get to have him vouch for Fruth and be more persuasive, as it were, magically in means to the other officers. Korsh also completely admits what it is that he did. He admits that he said those words, no witnesses, no survivors. You do see...
Maybe we don't even need Sailflick then.
You do see through gritted teeth, trying to remain masculine and strong. His tears do stream down his face, but they're like anger tears, like, I'm so angry that I'm sad and I can't keep it together. That kind of thing.
It's like the Mad TV coach eyes. You get it together. He's like pointing to us.
Get it together. Yeah, exactly. So that's what it's like. And
Don't you cry.
you see him crumbling like a coffee cake in your hands when it comes to like when you have him. Like you have him, he's putty. And so yeah, you get full testimony. Like he recounts, if I remember correctly, this was the first time that I talked to Fruth and I felt really weird, and that was like, you know, weeks if not months before, or like when he fewer than weeks after he was like first put on the ship and like assigned to the ship by and you remember, since he's the bosun, he's in charge of the people, like the crew. He recounts that Fruth Lovud being put on the ship was very unorthodox. It was requested by somebody up in high power from the Northern Dynasty that he be put on the ship. And under the command of Captain Imada Yukari. Granted, because you guys rolled so high, all of your research so far, the people that could do that are probably 3 people of the high power in Dynas. Either the Dynas themselves made it a point to put this person in there, and therefore they were, because the Dynas word is law. The Daifan Kotnyatla, who is the hierarchy of the Ryomi in like the military sector, including the Navy, or Vodomo Varador Dude could have done it as well, because they do the logistics and all that jazz. So it could have been any one of those 3.
Would there be records of that request? I know I'm not there, but like just in general, could we try to
yeah, I mean, I'll give that
records?
to you for free. Possibly. There possibly could be. It would be up to you to find where those records would be kept.
Okay.
Most likely they would not be on the Sutabumboro. They would be in the probably one of the seats of power that issued that order. So it would either be in like the Dynas personal files, or the Dynas, like, you know, public or like, you know, official governmental files, or the Daifon's governmental files, or the Vodomo's personal or governmental files.
Okay.
Yeah, because you rolled so insanely high, you get quite a bit of information from that. You are getting the sense that Ruth Levoud was planted on this ship on purpose by someone or something or some organization. And you've narrowed it down to could be anyone to 3 specific individuals.
Want some juice?
It's good soup. Great. Anything else then? I think that's it for testimonies, correct?
Well, we got to get just a quick test. This should be easy, but just from Toman, his testimony about the cannons being gone.
Of course, yes. I will sign an affidavit. Yes, I was present during the search, seizure, and theft of the cannons on the galleon of the Black Cauldron Initiative known as the Sutamabura, or in the common tongue, the Stormbringer. Yes, of course.
Thank you for saying all the information that we already knew.
Yes, well, it's important to make sure that everything is very clear when it comes to official documents. If you'd like to be my notary, that would be much appreciated. I'm really good at this. Someone can roll a. Actually, someone just roll a straight wisdom check for me.
Not me.
That's me. 21.
21. You can go ahead and put a 20 next to Raizen Toman's testimony. Great rolls, guys. You got some really good testimonies here. Amazing. And with that,
We also have to give our own testimonies.
that's correct. That is
Right.
not really something that you're going to have to. That's going to be something that you role play at the court case itself.
Oh, okay.
And then I will, and you will roll depending on how you would like to interact with the jury and whatever. Depending on if there is a jury, you guys will know the mechanics later. You might want to find out some more information about that, and as I flesh it out, I'll let you know more information. And then you will roll stuff, and depending on how well you roll and how well your actual how articulate you are and well you are in your actual speech as players, you also get a bonus to that roll or a only if you really fudge it will I give you a penalty. I'm not trying to fuck you guys. How well you do is how much of a bonus you get. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a mock trial. It'll be fun. Great. And with that, I think that's where we're going to take our break. Seeing as we collected all the testimonies, I'll give you guys a bit to consider what it is that you'd like to do with the rest of your downtime, which isn't much. I'd say you guys probably have 3 days left. For those of you that were not involved in all of these testimonies, you might have had a little bit more time because you could have been doing other things. But that's where we are. Okay. Make sure you stay tuned and head over to the next episode. We're watching this episodically, and we'll be right back. See ya.